Have you ever found yourself doing something that just doesn't quite make sense in your modern, rational life? Maybe you felt an overwhelming urge to check social media for the 10th time, even though it makes you feel worse, or you experienced an intense, irrational fear in a perfectly safe situation. Perhaps you felt a sudden, inexplicable attraction to someone, or a strong desire to accumulate more of something, even when you logically know you don't need it. It's like there's an ancient, unseen hand guiding your decisions, often without your conscious awareness. You're not alone. These seemingly irrational urges and feelings are often echoes of a much older story, a tale written into our very biology over millions of years. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of evolutionary psychology. This scientific discipline explores how our human behavior and psychological traits have been shaped by natural selection, much like our physical bodies. Essentially, it suggests that our minds are equipped with evolved mechanisms, mental tools, if you will, designed to solve adaptive problems faced by our ancient ancestors. Think of problems like finding food, avoiding predators, attracting a mate, or forming alliances. The core mechanism is simple yet profound. Behaviors and psychological tendencies that enhanced our ancestors' survival and reproductive success were more likely to be passed down through generations. These aren't always conscious choices. Instead, they often manifest as unconscious motivations, emotions, and perceptions that subtly influence our decisions, pushing us towards actions that were beneficial for gene propagation in a very different world. For instance, our innate fear of snakes or spiders, even if we've never encountered a dangerous one, is a classic example. For our ancestors, quickly identifying and avoiding venomous creatures was a matter of life and death, an adaptation that saved lives and was thus selected for. Our brains are, in many ways, still operating with an ancient operating system, trying to navigate a modern world. Let's explore how these ancient programs play out in our everyday lives today. Consider the endless scroll on social media. Why do we feel compelled to constantly check what others are doing, posting curated versions of our lives, and experiencing a pang of envy when we see someone else's highlight reel? From an evolutionary perspective, this can be linked to our deep-seated need for social status and belonging. For our ancestors, being part of the in-group and having high status meant better access to resources, protection, and mating opportunities. Social media taps into this primal drive, creating a digital arena where we constantly compare ourselves, signal our fitness, our curated lives, and seek validation to affirm our place in the modern tribe. The likes and followers are our modern equivalent of tribal approval. Next, let's look at dating apps. Why do we make snap judgments based on a few photos or feel an inexplicable ick factor towards someone who logically seems like a good match? Evolutionary psychology suggests our brains are still wired for efficient mate selection. We're unconsciously looking for signals of genetic health, fertility, and resourcefulness, traits that would have ensured the survival of our offspring. Things like facial symmetry, body language, even vocal tone are all ancient cues our brains process in milliseconds. While modern dating is complex, these primal algorithms still heavily influence who we're drawn to, often overriding our logical preferences. Finally, consider the modern workplace. Why do office politics feel so intense? Why are we so sensitive to perceived slights from colleagues or so desperate for recognition from our boss? This often stems from our tribal past. Our ancestors lived in small groups where status, cooperation, and avoiding ostracization were crucial for survival. Being cast out of the tribe meant almost certain death. So our brains are hyper-alert to social cues, hierarchy, and potential threats to our standing within the group. That promotion, that public acknowledgement, or even just fitting in with the team can feel as vital to our survival as finding food once did. So how do we navigate this ancient operating system in our modern lives? The key isn't to fight our nature, but to understand it. Here are a few actionable tips. First, acknowledge the ancient brains, ours. When you feel an intense, seemingly irrational emotion or urge, Pause and ask yourself, is this a modern problem, or is my ancient brain reacting to a perceived threat or opportunity from a different era? Just recognizing that your anxiety about public speaking might be a relic of a primal fear of social rejection, or that your desire for a new gadget stems from an ancient drive to accumulate resources, can give you a sense of control. Second, consciously override or redirects. Our modern prefrontal cortex gives us the power to think rationally and make conscious choices. Once you identify an evolutionary drive at play, you can choose to act differently. Instead of endlessly scrolling for validation, perhaps redirect that social energy into meaningful in-person connections. Instead of letting snap judgments on a dating app dictate your choices, give someone a second look based on shared values or interests. Third, reframe for modern success. Many of these ancient drives can be incredibly powerful tools when consciously directed. Our need for status can be reframed into a drive for mastery and positive contribution. Our desire for resources can fuel productive work and innovation. Our tribal instincts can inspire strong teamwork and community building. Understanding these roots allows us to channel their energy constructively. You are not just a product of your environment or your conscious choices. You are also a marvel of evolutionary design, carrying within you the echoes of millions of years of adaptation. By understanding these deep-seated influences, you gain incredible power. The power to make more informed decisions, to navigate your emotions with greater clarity, and to truly master your modern life by understanding the ancient wisdom within.